London. Late in the year, a package arrives from the penal colony of New South Wales, Australia. Inside, packed in a barrel of spirits, is a creature that defies description, or rather, it defies belief. The scientists gathered in the room do not marvel at it. They do not celebrate a new discovery. They laugh. Dr. George Shaw, the keeper of the Department of Natural History, stares at the carcass on his table. He is a man of logic, a man of taxonomy, and to him, this is not an animal. It is a prank. A bill, not a snout, not a nose, a duck's bill, hard, leathery, and perfectly formed, grafted onto the body of a mammal. In 1799, taxidermy hoaxes are common. Chinese sailors sell mermaids to gullible Europeans, monkeys stitched to fishtails. This specimen from Australia is simply the latest fabrication, a bad joke sent from the edge of the world. Shaw doesn't just examine it, he attacks it. He cuts the skin. He is looking for the thread. He is looking for the glue. He expects the bill to fall off, revealing the mutilated face of a beaver underneath. The scissors find nothing. The fraud was not in the stitching. The fraud was in their understanding of the world. They called it Platypus anatomos, flat-footed, duck-like, a biological error, a creature that sits inside the machinery of evolution like a wrench thrown into the gears. It shouldn't exist. It breaks the rules of what a mammal is. It breaks the rules of what a reptile is. But nature does not care about our rules. To understand the impossible, we have to stop looking at the dead specimen on the table. We have to go to the water. Because the beak wasn't the weirdest part. Not even close. To understand the confusion, you have to leave the gas-lit study rooms of London. You have to go to the source, the penal colony of New South Wales, the edge of the known world. The early settlers called it the water mole or the duckbill, but names imply familiarity, and the first men to hunt this creature found nothing familiar about it. It was a ghost. Reports began to filter back to the coast. Explorers spoke of a shape that moved with the fluidity of an otter, but the silhouette of a log. They would track it for miles. They would set traps, but the creature seemed to dissolve. The environment here is hostile. In the winter, these mountain streams drop to near freezing. By all the laws of biology known in the 1800s, a reptile would freeze solid. It would hibernate. A mammal would need thick blubber or constant movement to survive. But this thing? It swims in the ice. It plays in it. It generates its own heat in a body that looks like it should be cold-blooded. It is an engine of warmth in a grave of ice. When it dives, the mystery deepens. Watch closely. It is deaf. It is blind. It is plunging into absolute darkness, hunting fast-moving prey in murky water with no sensory input that we understand. It defies the logic of the hunter. A wolf needs eyes. A bat needs ears. The platypus turns off the world and finds the target anyway. Seeing it alive didn't solve the puzzle of the dead specimen in London. It made it worse. Because a taxidermy hoax doesn't eat. A hoax doesn't swim against a current. A hoax doesn't possess a sixth sense that science hasn't even invented a name for yet. The naturalists put down their rifles and picked up their sketchbooks. They realized that looking at the animal was not enough. To understand what it was, they would have to take it apart. Not just the skin, but the biology itself. They thought the bill was the trick, but as they would soon discover, the bill was the least confusing thing about the platypus. The real monster was hiding on the inside. We return to the lab. Because if the behavior in the wild was confusing, the internal architecture is an offense to order. Zoologists like to put life into boxes: mammal, reptile, bird. Each box has a checklist. Look at the shoulders. In every other mammal on Earth, from a mouse to a whale, the legs are positioned underneath the body, vertical support. But the platypus? Its limbs are splayed out to the sides, perpendicular to the spine. It walks like a lizard. It does not run, it scuttles. Deep inside its chest, the bone structure is millions of years out of date. It is wearing the skeleton of a reptile wrapped in the fur of a bear. And then there is the weapon. Mammals do not have biological weapons. We fight with teeth and claws. But the platypus is armed. Connected to this spur is a gland in the thigh, venom. Not metaphorically, literally. A cocktail of toxins usually found in snakes and spiders, hidden in the heel of a furry river dweller. It is the only mammal in the world that can deliver a toxic injection just by kicking you. And the face is a machine. Those pits aren't just texture, they are receptors. But they don't smell, they don't taste, they feel power. The platypus has a sixth sense. It detects the faint bioelectric fields generated by the muscles of other animals. It doesn't just touch the world, it reads the electrical current of life itself. It is a biological metal detector. And finally, the exit strategy. Mammals have separate channels, one for waste, one for reproduction. The platypus has one, a single multi-purpose vent, the cloaca, Latin for sewer, a feature that belongs to birds, to reptiles, to dinosaurs, not to us. This is not a creature. This is a crime scene. It has the gait of a lizard, the bill of a duck, the venom of a snake, the fur of a mammal, and the sensors of a shark. It is a biological violation. If you were to design an animal by picking spare parts out of a trash can, this is what you would build. Biology has rules. The platypus breaks all of them. So how does this exist? How does nature produce a paradox? To find the answer, we have to stop looking at what the platypus is and look at where it came from.
The answer to the riddle is not found in anatomy. It is found in time. Long before the asteroid hit the Yucatan, long before the first horse or cat or human walked the earth, the mammal family tree split in two. One branch went right. That branch became us, the live bearers, the placental mammals. The other branch went left. They are called monotremes, the single-hole ones. They are not a weird evolutionary experiment. They are the originals. They are the last survivors of a biological dynasty that the rest of the world forgot. The platypus is not a patchwork of spare parts. It is a time capsule. Those reptilian legs? That isn't a mistake. That is the original blueprint for walking on land, preserved for millions of years. The eggs? They never saw the need to stop laying them. Why fix what isn't broken? But it's when the eggs hatch that the true strangeness of their survival comes to light. They sweat milk. Before mammals evolved complex delivery systems, they simply secreted nutrients through modified sweat glands. The platypus is a window into the moment our ancestors decided to become mammals in the first place. And the venom? It isn't for hunting. It isn't for defense against predators. It is for each other. During mating season, males wage chemical warfare for dominance. It is a brutal, archaic remnant of a time when mammals were not soft, cuddly things. They were warriors. And that bill, the duck bill that Dr. Shaw wanted to cut off with scissors, it is the most advanced sensory organ of any mammal on Earth. Driven into the water, isolated in the dark, the platypus evolved a way to see without eyes. It didn't borrow a bill from a duck, it built a radar dish. For centuries, we looked at the platypus and asked, what went wrong? We treated it like a rough draft, a mistake. But we were asking the wrong question. The platypus has survived for 100 million years. It watched the dinosaurs rise, and it watched them burn. It watched the continents break apart. It watched humanity climb down from the trees. It breaks our rules because our rules are too small. Nature does not care about our textbooks. It does not care about our categories. It only cares about one thing: survival. Nothing about the platypus is normal, and that is exactly why it's perfect.